Here we are. Stay above the fray. Balthazar Grecian. This is the quote. Regard it as more courageous not to become involved in an engagement than to win in battle. And where there is already one interfering fool, take care that there shall not be two. Just because someone's acting foolish doesn't mean you need to take part in it. That's what that means. Do not let people drag you into their petty fights and squabbles. At the same time, you cannot completely stand aside, for that would cause needless offense. To play the game properly, you must seem interested in other people's problems, even sometimes appear to take their side, but while you make outward gestures of support, you must maintain your inner energy and sanity by keeping your emotions disengaged. No matter how hard people try to pull you in, never let your interest in their affairs and their petty squabbles go beyond the surface. Give them gifts, listen with a sympathetic look, even occasionally play the charmer, but inwardly keep both the friendly kings and the perfidious tyrants at arm's length. By refusing to commit and thus maintaining your autonomy, you retain the initiative. Your moves stay matters of your own choosing, not defensive reactions to the push and pull of those around you. Daily law, always try to inwardly maintain your independence and avoid entanglements not of your choosing. That's from the 48 Laws of Power. Law number 20, do not commit to anyone. It's good advice. Stay above the fray. Don't get involved. If it's not directly involving you, do not directly involve yourself. What was that? What I just passed? Let's see. Title page. Envelop the enemy. The annihilation strategy. People will use any kind of gap in your defenses to attack you or revenge themselves on you, so offer no gaps. The secret is to envelop your opponents, create relentless pressure on them from all sides, dominate their attention, and close off their access to the outside world. Make your attacks unpredictable to create a vaporous feeling of vulnerability. Finally, as you sense their weakening resolve, crush their willpower by tightening the noose. The best encirclements are psychological. You have surrounded their minds. That's from the 33 Strategies of War. Yeah, if you keep them psychologically off balance and always active, it doesn't give them time to rest and think. That's what I got out of that. Especially applies to adversaries. All this stuff applies to adversaries. That's why it comes out of the prism of warfare. I guess they kind of go hand in hand. You know, stay above the fray, because the people that want to involve you in their dramas might not necessarily be coming to you for advice or any kind of like. They may be trying to do more than just bend your ear, I guess you could say. Other than that, it's going to be a fantastic day because I'm going to make it one. I always catch people off guard at work. I tell them that. I always ask them, how's your day? Oh, it's going okay. Mostly they say, oh, it's all right. How about you? Yeah, it's fantastic. And they're always looking at me like, what? I think it's the funniest thing in the world. They don't get it. I've told people too. Because people have asked, how are you always in such a good mood? Because I decided to be in a good mood. And then I've gone into further explanation. Some people get it. Some people think it's too hard to gain control over their own minds. I don't know. I guess if you've never actually tried to do it, it could seem like a daunting task. But it starts with your words. Even if you don't feel it, just say it. It doesn't mean you're lying. If you say the words, just think of it as a state you're striving to achieve. You may not be there yet. You have to at least start to say it. And then reality will catch up later. Put the volume up to 4. I don't think the mic will catch it. It's just classical music, but I know you're not really supposed to have music in the background, or it's not like my videos are gonna get a strike or anything anyways. And the noise, let's see, it's a test to see if the noise canceling will. There, I can hear that pretty good. Let's see what happens. Good enough for me to enjoy my ride pleasantly. So today is Friday. Another week flown by. Flew by? Has flown by. Tired. So I was reading, probably mentioned this yesterday, I made the supplemental addition to my training course more geared towards the human. Because the first thing I did, first piece of material I created was more towards the handling of the dog and focusing on the dog. I wanted to make something that focuses on the human, to stress the importance of why the mentality of leadership should strive to be attained. Oof. Turned out to be about 26 pages long. I learned a new phrase. It's called what is it called? Shoot. A running page footer. Because after I looked at the PDF, because I turned it into a PDF. It's an HTML that you can open up in a web browser. It looks really nice. And it is also a PDF, so I could text it to people or send it to their email. But on the PDF, I wanted my Instagram account on the bottom of each page. So I asked it to do that, and that's what it called it. It's called a running page footer. So now at the bottom of every page it says "I lead my pack," which I thought was pretty cool. So I got to about page 16. I was reading it to my girlfriend. She really liked it. My woman. Girlfriend sounds like too adolescent a term. It slips out every now and then. But she's much more than a girlfriend. She is my woman. But anyways, when I get to work, I'll probably read the rest of it. So far, it's turning out fantastic. And now I'm thinking of there should be a third one. I think 3 will round out my material for what's going to become my training program. I have no idea how this is going to unfold, but this is going to happen. I'm not making all this stuff for nothing. And in my mind, I woke up thinking about, all right, I already attacked it from the perspective of the human focusing on the dog, in conjunction with assuming the role of a leader. And now I've attacked it from the perspective of the human focusing on the human and the importance of becoming that leader. And for some reason, it kind of popped in my head, like maybe I should approach it from the perspective of the dog and why it's so important for that dog to be a follower. So now I need to construct a prompt for that. My prompts are huge, you should see. If you guys aren't using AI the way I've learned to use AI, you're not getting the most out of it. My prompts are like paragraphs long. Almost, yeah. At least I would say at least 2 paragraphs long. They're detailed and articulate. And every sentence is like laser focused on an outcome. So if you're just doing 1 or 2 sentences or, just quick thought, it'll do some stuff. But the more articulate and the more detailed and the more refined every sentence and command you give it is, the more beautiful the outcome will be. And actually, if you think about life that way, that's probably a good way to just approach life in general. Be specific, be direct, say what you mean what you say. Don't be too verbose, make every sentence matter and every word count. And the outcome should be beautiful. That's how you should interact with people. Think of it that way. Glad it's Friday. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. The perspective of why it's important for a dog to be a follower. And maybe why it's important for humans to be good followers also. Because for the most part, all humans are followers. There are very few leaders in human circles. Starting with your employment, unless you own the business, you're a follower. You're taking orders from somebody else. So, see, all these thoughts are what I'm going to put into this prompt. Everybody's taking an order from somebody else. Parents, children, that dynamic. Children have to follow the orders of their parents. Teachers and students, there's another dynamic right there. Employer, employee. These are all archetypes of leader-follower dynamics. So this should be interesting to see what it puts out. That's why that phrase, the blind leading the blind, is so cogent, I think the word would be. Now I'm about to look that word up because I think I used it right, but now I'm not sure. Fitting, I think, is another way to put it. The blind leading the blind is a fitting phrase because most people aren't fit to lead. And they have no business being in the leader position. This could apply to a lot of politicians, a lot of religious leaders, a lot of parents. A lot of humans in general are not fit to lead. They haven't had that framework of mind set in place by a healthy leader for them. So the leader they think they might be is not as healthy as they might think. if anybody wants a good movie for how the vision in one's mind can be projected out into the world, it's that movie The Founder. Because that scene right now just popped into my head of, it's Michael Keaton, and he's listening to a tape of Earl Nightingale, and I forget what book he wrote, but the phrase that you hear in the movie that he's listening, you hear the phrase, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." You are what the sum total of your thought process is. That's why I listen to what people talk about, because they're telling me what's inside their head. And that is the level of your mind. So anybody listening to this, you know where the level of my mind is. The things I think about, they're all being spoken about here. And I'm all about trying to improve myself. I don't want to feel satisfied with where I'm at. I have this real need to try to be a little bit more than I currently am. Just 1% better. That's it. 1% every day over the course of a lifetime will yield fantastic results. That's why I answer that way. How are you today? Fantastic. And that's why I try to encourage people to try to do that too. They may get tired of hearing it. I really don't care, because I guarantee no one else is talking to them this way. Their friends aren't, their relatives aren't. For the most part, I could probably say that's a pretty accurate assumption. There's very few people out there encouraging people to be better than they currently are. And everybody's wanting to adopt that. Oh, you're fine just the way you are. Nope. No, you're not. You could be better, and you could be more. And you should try to do that. It's a good feeling to unexpectedly achieve and do more than you thought you were capable of. I know what that feeling's like. And once you get that feeling, once you experience it, it kind of inspires you to want to feel it again. So now you're caught up in like a healthy mental loop of trying to just improve and do and be a little bit more. It's almost like a little bit of a drug you're chasing, because that feels good to see that you're improving. Why wouldn't you want to feel that? I mean, I do. I don't know why anybody else wouldn't want to prove and have that little tiny bit of satisfaction, like, man, I actually did that. That's awesome. And it's not that you're satisfied with where you are and, all right, that's it, I'm done. It's more that, wow, that's satisfying to know that I had achieved a goal that I set for myself. I went for it and I got it. And then now the immediate thought after that should be, all right, what's the next goal? You want to avoid all the plateaus and constantly set little peaks to reach for, I think. I don't like to sound preachy. I'm not trying to tell people to do this. It's more, maybe I'm just talking to myself right now. All these things I say, they're for me. And I hope somebody will be inspired to try to do this for themselves also. It's a healthy thing to do. I don't know why anybody would not want to. Other than, the fear of failure. But even I have a lot to say on that. Failure is a good thing. Failure gives you a lot of information. Who was it? Darn. Oh, Thomas Edison. Okay, so when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he I think they said he failed 10,000 times before he got it right. And what was the quote? He didn't fail 10,000 times. He just discovered 10,000 ways that it didn't work. That's how you have to look at it. It's not failure. You found out, okay, that didn't work. Okay, now adjust course. Make a small adjustment. Do it again. It's like a child, like a little tiny baby when they're learning to walk. Imagine they get up to learn to walk and they fall and they fail. And, all right, well, forget it. I'm not going to do it. No, they keep trying. They keep getting up and they keep trying to walk. That little baby can do it. You can do it. That's a funny thought. Imagine. Oh, didn't walk across the room. I guess I'm never going to do it. Gonna crawl forever. I think that's a good analogy. If a baby can do it, you can do it. I'm going to use that. But yeah, fear of failure is I think a lot goes along with why that paralyzes people into inaction. You know, maybe they failed in front of people and they were made fun of and it was more of a demoralizing experience. Not even the failure that hurt the most, but like maybe being made fun of because they failed, and that just like crushed their spirit in a way that just made them not want to push the envelope too far for fear of having to feel that again. I can understand that, but the hard truth about that is you got to push through that. You have to confront that little demon that's holding you back. I had to learn that for myself. So that's why I'm saying that. Not that I'm... What is this? What is the saying? I think I hear people saying now, and I'm not talking out of school. This is something I've actually learned. I don't even know where that saying came from. All of a sudden I'm hearing a lot of people say that. Talking out of school. But yeah, that's what I'm doing with this whole training program I'm slowly putting together. Getting all the material first. Oh, I meant to put some stuff into my laptop so I could read it off of there. I'll do that tonight. Or tomorrow, I've got a day off. And then I have to figure out ways to start to market this and get the word out. And then I have to figure out a place maybe I can, because I do have a really nice HTML version of all this material I have in PDF form. I have the HTML versions, which look really nice when you open them up in a web browser. And not many people understand how to do that. I mean, it's not hard, but it's like I even just tried to tell my mom how to do it, and she couldn't understand it. It's the simplest thing. I was like, right click on it or hold your finger on it to open with, and then select your browser. That's it. It's as simple as that. And it opens up an HTML file right in your browser, and it's my whole training program in like a scrollable, it's kind of like a PDF, but there's like a little bit of nice animation with how it looks. Just the presentation looks a bit better than the PDF form. But yeah, that third one I think is going to be an interesting one. I have to really think about how to articulate that command. But so far, I'm very pleased with how I've learned to use AI. Oh, speaking of, Time Magazine put out a really cool special edition. It's the whole magazine is about artificial intelligence. I brought that with me today so I could read. I'm 100% in on using that. It's funny, some people are scared of it. I wasn't scared of it. I just really didn't see how I could use it in a way that benefited me until it finally hit me. And now that I'm in, I am all in. And it's funny, my conversation I had with my buddy, he was telling me how he uses it, and I was explaining what I did, and we're approaching it from completely different angles. And it all had to do with the prompting, because he was giving it very shorter prompts, I think, was what he was doing. So he was really like piece by piece, prompt by prompt, constructing the apps that he's making. And I'm front loading the whole process with a very specific and well articulated command that, like I said, it's almost, some of them are almost like 2 paragraphs long. And the reason I started doing that really is because I'm using the free version of the AI platform that I have. And really what happens is you can prompt only so much before it tells you to, okay, now you can't use it till like for another, I don't know, 2-3 hours. You just have to wait. It's no big deal. But I figured out it's more effective to just front load one large, well articulated prompt and see what it spits out, rather than to give it a bunch of little ones, because it just seems like you'll get more out of it all in one shot. And then if it does happen to tell you that you can't use it for a little while, well, that actually kind of gives you time to review what you just created. And now you can think about, okay, no, I need to adjust this, I need to replace that, I need to rephrase this part, I need to remove this section. So I kind of like the way I don't really need to go into a paid tier yet, although I heavily considering it. I think it's under $300 for like a year, just to go up to like the they call it the pro level, but it's the first paid tier of the platform. But at this point, I think it's well worth it. But for what I'm doing right now, this is okay. So but yeah, a third piece of material is going to be created today from the perspective of the importance of following. Because there's a lot that goes into that. There's the aspect of humility and patience, and not wanting to rush ahead, the openness to taking commands. To be honest, this is helpful for parents when it comes to raising kids also. I've told people that too. Maybe you should get a dog before you think about having a kid. Maybe you should learn how to take care of something like that before you actually bring another human into the world. Right, I'm almost there. I don't even remember if I gave my video yesterday a title. I don't even remember everything I said in this one. I always have to re-listen to these first thing when I get to work, so I could figure out what to call the title to get it. Oh man. It's funny, me and my woman went shopping yesterday just to get some odds and ends and things and, little extras here. And I rewarded myself with a cologne. And at first I wasn't going to get it. If The reason I bring this up, the thought had struck me, it feels weird to spend money. I don't want to say I don't like it. It's just, I don't know. I got used to not spending money. So even when I have it, it feels weird to do it. It's not that I don't want to. It's just odd. I don't know how else to call it. It's an odd feeling to spend money. I have to get over that. And would my woman say I don't know, I don't remember how she phrased it. It was something like, I want to say it was something like, don't you think you deserve, something, for yourself? Or like the way she phrased it, I was like, you're right. I don't know why I don't know. My mind was stuck in a moment of lack, maybe. Who knows? Or I don't know. I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm getting this. Once I made the decision, it felt good. Maybe that's the little lesson right there. All right. Let's go. All right. I have arrived at my destination. Let's see if my parking spot is there. Every once in a while, somebody likes to take it. It's not literally my spot, but it is my spot. I used to park in this one right here. This one used to be my spot. Then another guy likes to park there. And I noticed that he started getting here early so he can get it. I was like, oh, okay, you can have it. My spot is available. And okay, I'm here. I'm gonna have a fantastic day. I hope everybody else does the same. All right, let's go to work.